Alright guys, let's go ahead and go over my trades from yesterday and today. So I didn't trade in New York today. I woke up really late, like really late. I think I went to sleep around 3. So I woke up at like 1 p.m. my time, which is 2 p.m. New York time. But I did trade in Asia. Had 2 trades today and then yesterday. Let's go over this one here on YM. Let's move this like over here. All right. Wham. Yeah. So I took something up in here. So the daily profile here, I'll mark out the daily open. It's about right here. All right, so we came back to the daily open. As you can see here, this was the new day opening gap right here. So we're rejecting that. This is around 6 o'clock in the morning. So if you look at the current 4-hour candle that we are within right now, you can see that it's a bullish expansion candle. So when I enter this trade, it's aligned. The daily is obviously aligned bullish here as well. And if I show you ES/NQ here, you guys see this is like a PSP, right? So I'm gonna also go over why like shorting this was invalid. So for this, in order for this to be a PSP bearishly, we don't want to see like this get reswept. Like you don't want to see an SMT here or something like that, right? Because we know YM took this out, and at one point we had like an SMT here. You don't want to see that on this type of PSP. Why? Because of the way it closes, right? So what do we see about both these candles, right? Is that they are both C2 candles. So when you have C2 candles, you never want to see price create a 2-stage PSP. That is only if this asset here closed like a bullish expansion candle, right? That's when you would expect NQ to like sweep the high out. That's because it's closing near its own high, right? So the next candle can open up and easily take out the next candle's high, so that would create the 2-stage PSP. So here you're gonna see within this candle, right here is when we created this SMT right here, right? With this gap. So you guys see right here, this 2100, which is pretty much this low. Well, it's technically right there, but this is a gap on this asset. So it's a bit weird, but you guys can see here's a new day open gap as well. All right, but what do we have here? Strength switch PSP. This candle over here on the 1 hour time frame is bullish. This one's bearish when this one's creating the SMT fill, right? And then we're obviously expanding away from that, as you guys can see. So we are expanding away from that, and then we create this gap here in price. So I'm gonna have to go over here just to show you. When I took this trade, the 1 hour looked like this. So some people are like, where did you see an SMT fill? It's because you don't see it when you're like just looking back in price, because while this candle was forming, it created an SMT fill here, expand to this high, then reverse into a bearish expansion candle. So you wouldn't know that would happen if you don't see it live time. So this is what it looked like live time. Get an SMT fill right there. So that's what I'm trading, by the way. So when I go to lower time frame, what I want to see basically is a lower time frame versus signature. So that's what we see here. So y'all see this V shape? That is good. That's a reverse signature, right? So I'm assuming that this is going to be a reversal candle, a reversal prior to driver and a continuation at 9:30. Now, one thing to also mention is if I go to like the daily here, wait, where was it at? Am I tripping? Where was? Hold on. Was this on NQ? What am I trying to think of? Maybe I'm thinking of a different trade. My bad. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking of right now. Yeah, I'm thinking of a different trade. Never mind. Yeah, I was thinking there's like another high over here to the left, but there wasn't. Like I'm thinking of something else. But yeah, I enter in this gap, as you can see. Why is this weird? I don't know, it's out of order. But yeah, I enter in this gap here. Well, really in this gap, I think, right? Yeah, pretty much. Oh, or just 5-minute gap, whatever you want to use, right? Put my stop loss at the body here. And I go for this high. For at least 2R. It's really that simple, right? As you can see, gets there very quickly. Within this, really the first 1 minute of the open, right? Literally the first minute of the open just expands there. And then, yeah, you just take your full position off there. As there's nothing else to really target to the left, right? So yeah, that's that trade. But when the price, then you play price later on, around here. We obviously reverse here. I know a lot of people took this. I know a bunch of people took like this stuff up in here. This is like pretty good, right? Like this is like pretty decent, of course. But when I look at NQ, this is like a problem. NQ looks pretty shit, right? And you have to wait. At least I would want to wait because of this 10 a.m. candle. It's very, very large. So seeking any type of continuation or continuation or trade there is kind of low probable. So I just wanted to wait. And at this point here, obviously not good to see, right? When the CSD is back up, like even though this asset is going lower, this is what we don't really want to see. I don't really want to see NQ come up here. So I'm just waiting. Like I just waited. You also have to wait for like this 9:30 candle to close as well. So see, it's or 9 o'clock candle on the 90-minute, very large candle. So you're just waiting, right? There it closes. So then you can potentially trade. You could potentially trade this candle here as a 2-stage SMT, like this. Right, this candle is bearish expansion. This candle is bullish expansion. There you get your 2-stage. Right, so this is where we could potentially resync, right? Within that 10 a.m. candle, right? But what do we know about this 10 a.m. candle? Very large wick as well. So it's kind of weird, right? Because then you need to wait for the 12 o'clock candle. So you see while I'm waiting, I'm just waiting, dude, like for a lot of confirmation here. The 4 o'clock candle at 10 a.m. was large, so I'm gonna wait for simply 12 o'clock, right? If you want to fade a 4-hour candle, you wait for the 6-hour candle to align. It's really very simple rules, very mechanical, right? Now when you have SMT like this, where we are expanding through a high like this, we're not manipulating it. This is where you typically do expect that lagging asset to break the SMT. See what's equal high SMT? It's another reason why I wanted to wait. You need to make sure this is not going to reverse. What was I saying? Oh yeah, something about SMT break. This is where you typically expect an SMT break. But going back to my slides that I showed in one of my recaps, I've shown it before, is when this happens, you need to wait for a strength switch, right? When it's failing to manipulate, especially when you have like these equal high SMTs like this, you need to wait for a strength switch, which we actually do get. But I still need to wait. I still need to wait for 12 o'clock. Right? It's simple. I'm just applying the filters that I use and not deviating from them. So as you can see here, 10:30 does not get taken. But 10:30 over here does get taken. Right? It's pretty simple. So you do have a strength switch, and this is good to see. You do have this V shape here. Like we're starting to reverse, right? But they're so decoupled. Look how decoupled they are. It's pretty crazy. Like this asset is like way high in the range. This asset is really low in the range. They both V-shape towards each other. You see how this asset's V-shaping higher? This has to V-shape lower. So you just want to wait, right? You simply just want to wait for which asset is telling the truth, right? And that's where you just wait for 12, dude. Literally just wait for 12. By 12 o'clock, it's super obvious. Like super obvious. So look at 12 here. What are we continuing from? The CSD here. And like I would have traded this, bro, on this asset, but I just didn't think it would like get all the way down here, man. because of that large wick. Like the data's open high first, so we can fade this for sure. But it has such a large wick that I just was not sure if it was going to actually do that right. So yeah, clearly here we have some advanced premium discount going on. Right, this asset here is in discount, which is what we want to see, or EQ. We have the strength switch, and now they're both aligned with each other, right? And now we have time aligned with each other, or with price, with 12 o'clock. So that's pretty much when I enter this trade. It's around 11:50-ish, because I know that 12 o'clock is around the corner. And yeah, it's pretty simple. So if you look at this trade, so if you look at RTY as well, on the daily, it can make some sense why we are potentially retracing, right? We're coming off a very large expansion on the daily time frame. We just broke SMT, right? So we know when we break SMT, this is when price can retrace / reverse. So as you can see here, this asset took this high out on Tuesday, like a long time ago, and we just took that out on YM. So there's your SMT break, right? We know we had SMT here as well, and then we can see that's RTY does not take out the previous day's high, right? So there's like a little bit of a strength switch in the form of SMT break. Let me just show you guys this. Like, these are all my slides, man. Market is like really repeatable, but we just want to time it in order to take this trade. So that just confirms that idea in this like sequence of SMT break, really. So that'll be right here. Right here. It's right here, right? This would be YM right now. As you can see, it had a former SMT, but when it breaks, it's a strength switch, right? So there you go. And yeah, so what I was trading towards was this low. This relevant low on the hourly time frame, which is a 4-hour gap. As you guys can see, 4-hour gap. And yeah, pretty simple stuff. This is also an SMT fill on RTY, which is like something you could have traded. Like you could have traded this here if you wanted to. As you can see, it's just the universal sequence really, but I just was being really safe and I just wanted to wait for NQ to reverse. I typically like to wait for like all assets to give the same general kind of narrative. Like I don't want to like be longing YM or RTY when NQ and ES are like bearish or something. Like that's just not my favorite thing to do, to be honest. But it's something you can do. Like it's just very specific, dude. But yeah, I just simply was waiting for NQ to align because that's why I know that YM can